South Africa is being regarded as a gateway to Africa and also the largest trading partner for many countries around the world. For more on reaction around the world, we are joined now by SABC International Editor Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, a very good evening to you. So it may not be a lead story, but certainly the story has found its way in many news channels and print media around the world. Can you just share with us from your colleagues how the story is being covered and any reaction from the international community?
Well, as you pointed out, it is a story that is being covered by many countries, the networks, the news agencies, but broadcasters, including print media. The reaction is a shock, but also questions around what led to this. And many people saying that it cannot be located in terms of one issue that could have triggered this, but a number of feeling that it could have been the issue of President Zuma, and then it triggered many opportunists to take that advantage. And also, on the other hand, the issue of socio-economic problem in South Africa. But let's take a listen at what the Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland had to say, particularly talking about the Nelson Mandela Day tomorrow, but also looking at South Africa and the country itself on the global village.
Today we commemorate the Nelson Mandela International Day. In November 2009, the United Nations General Assembly declared the 18th of July Nelson Mandela International Day in recognition of the former South African president's legacy of fighting for racial equality and peace. In the resolution, the General Assembly recognised Madiba's contribution to conflict resolution, race relations, promotion and protection of human rights, reconciliation, gender equality, and the rights of children and other vulnerable groups, the fight against poverty, the promotion of social justice. As a son of the Commonwealth, Nelson Mandela's generosity of spirit and strength of character remains an exemplar of servant leadership, and he continues to be an inspiration in the promotion and protection of human rights, diversity, development, and democracy. It's against this backdrop that we celebrate his life and legacy and move as a call to action to dedicate 67 minutes of community service on the 18th of July to commemorate the 67 years of selfless service to South Africa and the world. But we do so in a turbulent period, a time of unprecedented challenges that have exacerbated structural and long-existing inequalities. As a champion of the rights of women, Nelson Mandela recognized the importance of women's leadership. But as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to wreak havoc, women's leadership and political and economic participation remain restricted. We are underrepresented as voters and in decision-making positions, whether in elected office, the civil service, the private sector, scientific settings, academia, and other fields. COVID-19, as ruthless as it is, presents an opportunity to close the gender gap and bring the power of women's leadership to bear.
So, Sophie, that was pretty much a summary of the issues that have led to where we are, as you mentioned, how it's been reported on, framed outside of South Africa. But what has been the impact of the developments on brand South Africa, particularly on the continent?
The continent is watching. Many countries, people are saying indeed they are worried that if this issue is not properly handled, it might spill over to neighboring countries in terms of challenges of the economy and access to goods and services. And therefore, the continent is watching. The African Union Commission Chair issued a statement calling for calm, We saw President Mnangagwa saying Zimbabwe is supporting South Africa and the people of South Africa during this challenging time. But let's also take a listen at what the founding member of the elders and also a human rights activist, Mrs. Graça Machel, had to say about the current situation on the eve of Nelson Mandela Day, where people are expected to do good and an opportune time to do just that based on what has transpired.
This week has been a tortuous one for South Africa. Wary yet determined, we have been valiantly swimming against the current to overcome the third wave of COVID-19. And now we have been mercilessly plunged into the dark and painful waters of civil unrest. Scores of our fellow South Africans have met the untimely death. The more than 100 of our brothers and sisters who have died will remain a stain on the conscience of those who have purposefully troubled our waters. South Africa as a whole has been impoverished by this past week. Come Monday, thousands more of hardworking South Africans will have no job to go to, adding to our already astonishingly high unemployment rate. Businesses that are the backbone of our economy have suffered enormous setbacks. The political violence, the racial tensions, and the debilitating lawlessness we are experiencing have no place in this beautiful country. And all during the week of Madiba's birthday. I cannot sit quietly as the land of his birth wages war with itself. In my desperation, however, I take heart in the recollection that we have been through troubled times before. And I am reminded of Madiba's indomitable spirit, which was a beacon of light for us through that darkness. And I'm sure that from up there where he is watching this beloved country of his.
And that there is Graça Machel following that conversation with SABC News International News Editor Sophie Mokoena on just how the news or the developments here in South Africa has been received, the conversations around it.